Good evening, St. Thomas More family. It's Father Browning's weekly update. And I have some what I think is exciting news for us as we move forward in 2021. I'll read a little bit of what the bishop has written about the Sunday Mass obligation, beginning again on July 1st, 2021. So he'll be lifting the dispensation that he's had since March of 2020 because of the pandemic, and restoring the obligation to attend Mass on Sundays and holy days of obligation, which is something I think to be joyful and thankful about, as we can be joyful and thankful in one regard of that the Lord has brought many of us through this pandemic and is, at least at this point, lessening its impact upon us. So that's a good thing to be thankful for. We also know that we want to bring many of our friends and family and those that we know and our parishioners to prayer, as some of them, have lost loved ones during this time or suffered much in the wake of the pandemic. And so we want to remember them always in prayer. And so over these next week, I just wanted to make you aware of this a couple of weeks in advance, and next week maybe we'll talk a little bit more about it. So what does that mean? Why do we have a Sunday Mass obligation? And we know that God is really in need of nothing from us, but he has made, as he did in the Old Testament with the first covenant with the Jewish people, the Sabbath was a day to rest, right, and to worship him. And so that carries over into the new covenant that Christ established, and it moves from that Saturday to Sunday because of the resurrection of the Lord. And the Lord commands us, obligates us to give him Sunday, right, to worship him, not because he needs it, but because we do. That we really need to worship God and make Sundays about him, about family, about rest. And so that's why there's an obligation, right, to remind us that we need God. Because oftentimes if we don't, it's, as my life is just one of many that points to this reality, that if we don't make that Sunday Mass a foundational point in our life, that many idols creep up as the things that we worship, whether it's myself or sports or even recreation, without any worship, without that foundation of that Sunday Mass where we receive God himself into our bodies through the gift of the Eucharist, and we offer the worship that Jesus offers to the Father on our behalf with Jesus at the altar. It's so easy for us to fall away from what is so foundational to what it means to be human, which is to worship God, our Creator, our Redeemer. That is a necessity that we have in this life, because it continually transforms us. It helps us to be who God is calling us to be. Otherwise, we get off track very easily. That's what I experienced in my own life when I stopped, practicing my faith, going to Sunday Mass, praying. Things did not go well, because the deepest desire of my heart is to know God's love, whether I know that or not yet. That is the deepest desire of our heart, to know his love, to experience that, to be transformed by it, and to even become more like him by receiving Jesus in the Eucharist. So that's why there's an obligation, not because God needs it, but because we do, because we need to entrust ourselves to him. We need to make the foundation of our life on the worship of him, because that's what makes our heart sing. It's what brings the fulfillment of our deepest desires. So that's why there's a Sunday obligation. Now, the bishop also mentioned in his letter to his priests that, for whatever reason, there are some who may still be fearful or medically vulnerable to the effects of COVID, who in those situations must use their consciences to make the decision about attending Mass in person or continuing to follow it virtually. And so we want to be cognizant of that. But I also just encourage you not to be afraid. You're still welcome to wear masks if you like, and that will protect you some. We take all the precautions of making sure the church is clean and sanitized, and we really want to make this just a beautiful opportunity to welcome many back that haven't been able to come for 15 months or so, to experience God's love, His goodness, to receive Him in Holy Communion, which is the source and summit of our faith, as the church teaches us. And I think in this way, we can continue to be transformed into His disciples, who, by our life, by our words, by our invitation to others, can help them to know that the faith is about worshiping God, is about finding our fulfillment in Him. And so I think we're excited that we can welcome you back, invite you back to Mass. And for all of you who have been coming, everything continues as normal. We will continue the live stream and stuff for those maybe who are homebound or who are medically vulnerable, that will continue to participate. Make sure you spend that Sunday worshiping God as well. But that obligation will begin July 1st again for all of us, and is just a great opportunity to renew our faith, renew our trust of the Lord, renew our practice of the faith, especially by Sunday Mass, by daily prayer, and by confession. So confessions are available as well on Tuesdays at 5:30 p.m. and on Saturdays at 1 p.m. Until all are heard. So just looking forward to inviting any of you that haven't been able to come back yet back into the church. We're waiting for you. We're happy to welcome you back. And I know the Lord is looking to fill you with His love. God bless you all.